So if I were a gambler, which I am, I would have betted against Chelsea. Did I expect a win for them? Yes. Oh, actually, no. Today is a Sunday and lies of any kinds are completely prohibited. But did I expect a technical slip on the side of Pep Guardiola? Hell no! We're talking about Pep Guardiola here. Was I rooting for Chelsea? Of course, there's this fan element in me that definitely want to root for Chelsea. I mean, I'm a supporter, so the natural instinct is to support my team. Chelsea managed to win the Champions League. The last time they won it was actually in, I think, March 2012 with Bayern Munich. 9 years later, they're bringing it back to Stamford Bridge. That's very interesting. I never for a second gave Chelsea a chance. Because statistically, Pep Guardiola, you already know he's been doing like fantastically well, and they are the Premier League title holder, by the way. So it was almost like everything were stacked against Chelsea, and truth be told, it was the world versus Chelsea. No one believed Chelsea would make it through. And I hate to use the word the underdog because I personally don't think Chelsea were the underdog. I think they were mostly underrated. I also underrated them based on how it's been. I didn't even want to give any special thought to the fact that like they beat Man City the last two, outings they had. That didn't count for anything because I knew that Pep Guardiola was going to put on his best. This is supposed to be like his first Champions League. He was going to give his best shot, and that's exactly what he did. He brought in all his attackers, but I for a second wondered what could have been going on in his mind. How would you have that kind of formation without like a notable DM? I'm talking about defense midfielder, and then of course it was very clear that De Bruyne was supposed to be like the false nine. Had a lot of pressure on him. He will run to the midfield, make the creation, create, distribute, and run back to the front. And it was just too much for him. And I thought for a second, yeah, for good reason, he put Sterling there. And the reason Sterling was there is just because he's very PC, and then he has this knack for always winning like all kinds of foul. All right, which I understood. At some point, after 30 minutes, I personally, from my own perspective, felt um Sterling's job was no longer, his services were no longer, relevant because Rhys James had him on total lockdown. By the way, shout out to Rhys James. That fufu that you eat, I want some of it. So now he already had him on a total lockdown. He was completely shackled. He wasn't allowed to want to leverage on his pacey nature and want to like bring all kinds of fouls. And I expected Pep Guardiola at that point to pull him out and then try to put someone like what? Sorry for the break in transmission. That was the alarm clock. All their game plan, it looked like Chelsea were working against them. So they weren't allowed that freedom to move around. Fine, they succeeded in pressing Chelsea, which I anticipated in the first place. As a matter of fact, I envisaged that because I knew it was going to be a game of pressing Chelsea to the point where they will, just kind of they would resort to defending. But they didn't pull Sterling out for the longest of time until the injury, I think until the harm I feel had already been done. Fernandinho would have been the best person to be the DM. So what am I trying to say in essence? I'm trying to say that to be very good can be bad. I know it sounds really counterintuitive, but that's the point. Pep Guardiola was going for the kill, but he lost sight of the fact that while you're killing, you have to be in charge of the defensive midfielder. No one warned him about Kante. No one. My heart went out to De Bruyne. So when I saw him come down to that injury and saw that their powerhouse had already been dismantled, I felt my heart broken into pieces because I personally like him. Everyone that knows me know that I am a personal admirer of De Bruyne because like I said, I thought he's like one of the best box-to-box strikers. That's my opinion about him. Unfortunately, Chelsea didn't see that before he left. Stamford Bridge. I never expected that all the job would be done, like everything would be concluded upon within 90 minutes. I was thinking that maybe it will extend to like extra times and all that, but thankfully, thank heavens that it didn't get to that point. So congratulations to Chelsea boys again. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking of one of the most endearing names for them, and one of the names that came to mind was Chels. I saw the name being bandied around on the social media, so I have adopted it as well. So for any time Chelsea wins, they will have this very fond name from me, and that will be Charles. Kante is a god in human form. That guy, Jesus Christ. Whew, Kante, may your days be long. Say amen. And then Rudiger, as a matter of fact, De Bruyne had no business encountering Rudiger if Pep Guardiola had understood that there was a need for a defensive midfielder. So him getting to jam someone like Rudiger was at the very least, was very unfortunate. And that injury for someone like De Bruyne, who is kind of very keen about, like, he's a powerhouse, to accept to be pulled out, they must have known that the injury must have been very severe. And then as Clipwether, our defender, they all did well. I know another point that gave me a headache when Thiago Silva, one of our experienced, one of the most experienced backmen, had that injury, the hamstring injury. I was like, this is the guy who, he might not be running as much. I mean, he's 37 years, but he has his own presence. He tries there to oversee and, control the excesses of these, very hot guys, the likes of Rhys James and all. And when he was pulled out, I felt bad. But Christensen also stood up. He came in and he stood up to be counted. I can deduce determination on the part of the Chelsea boys. They sincerely and desperately wanted this, and it happened for them. And Chilwell, I don't even know. I'm kind of spoiled for choice. I'm torn between this and that. So many of them just did well. Mount, every single one of them. When I saw Chelsea line up and I saw Pulisic wasn't starting, Ziyech wasn't there, I said, okay, what is this guy actually going? What is he actually aiming for? I felt Pulisic needed to be there, but now with the benefit of hindsight, I think he deliberately, I'm talking about Thomas Tuchel, he deliberately made that formation. Nothing new what happened there. It was just the same old thing, the same formation, what it has always been and all. So I kind of give the kudos to the boy. Their determination was very palpable. It was very clear for all to see that they wanted it so much. It wasn't going to be the easiest of games. It was a very technical game, in my own opinion, and so much to say in one fell swoop. I rate every single one of them. Kante, Azpilicueta, Rudiger. If he wasn't a footballer, he definitely would have been a boxer, because that guy is just too strong for his own good. I think that crash he had with De Bruyne, it looked a bit untidy, but for me, it got the work done. For me, that's what matters. Maximiliano Allegri has now replaced Andrea Pirlo of Juventus, and now Inzaghi is still being pointed as like a possible replacement for Antonio Conte of Inter Milan. I'll give you the story as it progresses, and it will be a good day to have a fun fact, shall we? Did you know that Chelsea was formed on the 10th of March 1905 by two brothers, Gauze and Joseph Mears? They're businessmen. I bet you didn't know. It's that simple. You didn't know. That's just about the package for today. And and in the spirit of our new status as the champions, subscribe to this channel, and then press the like button if you think you like my video. I know you would, because as a matter of fact, I do like my video as well. Okay, and I know I had fun, and I trust you did have fun. And the notification bell, you also need to press on that one, so that way you get my videos served to you whenever it comes up. Take care, guys. Bye. The camera is still rolling.